After completing your liquid watercolor painting, this is an idea of how it will look when it dries. Now we're going to go on to the next part of this video, which is demonstrating how to use Oil Pastel Resist. So what we're going to do before using our liquid watercolor, we're going to use oil pastels. So for this video, the additional materials that you will need are oil pastels and salt. So I'm going to take a couple colors of my oil pastel, and what I'm going to do is make sure I apply enough of it so when I start painting, it's not washed off. So I'm going to go ahead and just do basic swirls with my oil pastel. When doing a project like this, the kids can do something more abstract like I'm doing, or they can draw like a flower and create a picture. So I'm going to keep taking my colors, making sure I'm applying pressure with my colors. After you create your image with the oil pastels, what you're going to do again is take your brush. So I'm going to take my brush here. I'm going to use a bigger one to cover more area. I'm going to wet my brush. And here you can also do the wet on wet technique again. So what I'm going to do is apply water to the paper. And spread it across like so. After applying the water to the paper, you can go ahead and pick your first color. I'm going to start with blue this time, and I'm going to spread it across my photo like so. And if you notice here, you're going to see that the oil pastel is resisting the water. So the image that you draw should poke through the watercolor paint. If you want to change colors, you go ahead and clean off your brush. And then go to your next color. And then you can add little drops if you would like throughout your photo and experiment with different things like so. Mine here is pretty abstract if you see. So this is a basic idea of how to use Oil Pastel Resist. What I'm going to do now is also show you another way to experiment with the art or add texture. So what I'm going to do is take my salt, and you can use a separate container to do so, but I'm going to just pour it straight out of the container, and you just shake it over your painting. Like so. After you add salt to your painting, what you're going to do is let it dry. So I'm going to place this to the side for it to dry. And I'm going to take out one that I did previously. What you're going to do is have a container under it. And once it dries, after applying the salt, what you're going to do is scrape it off. So I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to wipe off all the salt that I poured onto my painting. And it's okay if not all of it comes off, but you want to do your best to get most of it off of your paper. Like so. And after scraping off the salt, you'll see the texture that is made, and that's left. If you can see here, the different textures. And yes, that is the basic idea of how you add salt to liquid watercolor. So here is the dried version of just liquid watercolor and oil pastel resist, and then this is the dried version with added salt. So that concludes our video on how to use liquid watercolor. I hope you enjoyed and I hope this helps.